All right, being joined on the show tonight is Rajni Sinha, Chief Economist, CareEdge Group. Rajni, thank you very much for taking the time out and joining us here on ET Now. In fact, let us begin on the fact that this is 18 years since the last S&P upgrade. What in India's macro and fiscal story has broken the logjam now, do you think? What factors are you seeing in India's growth story that has compelled in these ratings? And look at the timing and the irony of how this has panned out, because Trump said India is a dead economy. Report clearly states otherwise.
Absolutely. In fact, I would say that S&P has been slow in upgrading India's rating. We at CareEdge Global, actually last year in October, we had launched our sovereign rating for 39 countries, including India, and we have given a rating of BBB plus to India. And if you look at the story, why we gave a BBB plus rating when other rating agencies were talking about BBB minus was mainly because India is in a very sweet spot currently. India is the only large economy which is expected to record good growth of around 6.5% or so for the next 5 years. The government is increasingly focusing on capital expenditure. So there's a lot that's happening on the infrastructure front. If you look at the government's focus on capex to government's capital expenditure to GDP, center's capex has increased to around 3.2% of GDP, as against 1.9% or so that we had pre-COVID. So there's increased focus on capex, which also implies that going forward, also this growth momentum is going to be sustained. And now talking about fiscal, which is the main pillar on which the sovereign rating is based, India is seeing very good fiscal consolidation happening. In fact, at this point in time, when most economies globally are struggling with high debt, India is one of the few countries which is going to have a falling debt to GDP ratio going forward. So currently, India has a debt to GDP ratio of around 82%. And we are expecting in the next 10 years, by 2035, we are expecting it to go to around 73%. So it's a gradual, fall in debt to GDP ratio. But yes, it's a fall, whereas, many of the other economies are going to struggle with rising government debt to GDP. So that's another factor which is a big positive. The other thing is that a large part of India's government debt is domestic in nature. So in that sense, it's relatively less exposed to global volatility, currency volatility, or capital flows. And another very important factor which we must give credence to is the fact that India has no history of default. So that's also something which we give a lot of importance to this factor in our methodology. And taking that into account, that's also a reason why, we gave a rating of BBB plus. Apart from the fact that, even if I look at, what's the current situation,
absolutely,
what's happening in terms of, the tariff war and all, India would be relatively less impacted, given that India is mainly a consumption, domestic demand-driven economy. Our exposure to US economy in terms of goods exports is only around 2% of GDP. And our services exports are very robust. So in that sense, given in this scenario, volatile scenario, India would be relatively less impacted compared to many of the other Asian peers.
Right. Right, Rajni, I'm glad that you brought about that point about the impact of tariffs, because many economists have also stated that the impact of tariffs is going to be minuscule as far as the Indian economy is concerned. We'll delve a bit deeper into that a little later on the show. But there is a view that suggests that ratings agency S&P Global has been slow to move given India's growth rates. And like you rightly pointed out, India is being looked at as a bright spot in global economies. Plus the fact that India of today bears little resemblance to the India of the early 1990s, which is when this upgrade came about. And yet, in the eyes of S&P Global, it's still stuck there in the 1990s. Would you agree with that perspective that many economists are holding, that perhaps S&P Global has been a little slow to recognize?
Absolutely, Sumita. That's what I started with. SNB has been slow in, getting this upgrade. We are already talking about, we at CareEdge Global are already talking about triple B plus. Because if you think of it, there are a lot of reforms that have happened in India in the last few years. And S&P's, rating was not fully reflective of that. The fact that I spoke about this whole focus. See, for India, if I see in the past, infrastructure has been a big concern area, and if you see in the last I would say decade, there has been increased focus on building infrastructure, increased focus on improving the logistics sector in the economy. So all this will help in improving the business scenario here, attracting more of FDI here. So there's a lot, I would say, that has happened on the reforms front, on which S&P has been definitely slow in responding. And apart from, I spoke about the infrastructure sector, I spoke about the fiscal pillar. The other very important pillar for India is also what's happening on the external front. And like I said, even in midst of all this trade war, India would be relatively less impacted. We are still talking about a current account deficit. We are expecting that even with all this trade war scenario, the current account deficit would remain less than 1% of GDP in FY26. That's mainly because our services sector will continue, the services exports will continue to remain robust. And in fact, in the last few years, we have been seeing that services exports had been recording double digit growth. And even now, we are expecting in FY26, while we are expecting some moderation, still we are expecting that our services exports will continue to grow by around 8% or so, which is pretty healthy. We have very good forex reserves. Our external debt to GDP at around 20% is much less than many of the other Asian peers. So in that sense, yes, I would agree with you that S&P has been slow in
So the factors
responding to.
contributing to that. Right, and with the point that you essentially began this conversation with as well, and circling back to what you also cited earlier of the fiscal consolidation, which the S&P has also cited as a key reason for the upgrade, but it also notes that it will be gradual, like you said. But what's the right balance between cutting the deficit and maintaining the growth momentum? Because concurrently, what we do see here is that S&P assumes 6.8% growth for the next 3 years. What would the reason be for that? Will India, in a sense, have a 7+ growth for the GDP? Is that how we can look at it?
So, yes, definitely government has to balance growth and fiscal consolidation. But if you see this government, if we see the past track record, they have been very focused on fiscal consolidation. So, even during COVID, when most economies were very generous with giving fiscal stimulus, India was very constrained. So, even though we gave some amount of fiscal stimulus, but it was not like what we saw in many of the developed economies. So I would say the track record has been that even when the growth is kind of, there are some concerns, government has tried to use some other measures to boost demand in the economy or stimulate the economy, but they have stuck to their fiscal consolidation path. And I think that's what we as a rating agency value, and that's what gives us the confidence that this fiscal consolidation path is here to stay. See, one concern for India when we talk about the fiscal pillar is the high interest burden that government has. So even though our government debt to GDP is around 83%, which is less than what many of the developed economies have currently, like say US, UK. India at 83% is less, but our interest payment burden, our interest to revenue ratio is very high at around 25%. So yes, that is a concern. But the positive factor is that government has been very, very focused on fiscal consolidation, and they have been balancing the growth requirement without compromising on fiscal consolidation. If you talk about what to expect on the growth front, in fact, the growth momentum of India is such that a 6.45% growth is very easily government should be able to achieve, if not 6.5, say 6.46, so broadly around the same range. So the kind of reforms that have happened in the past, we are going to see the dividend of that, and even in midst of all this global volatility, we should be able to manage around 6.5% growth for sure in the next 5 years.
Absolutely, Rajni. That's been also the view of the RBI as well in, several of its monetary policy committee meetings and, of course, press conferences. It has maintained that India is likely to grow anywhere between 6.2 to 6.5. So that growth trajectory is intact. That's also been hinted by S&P Global as well. But do you think there could be a further upgrade in sight for India from S&P? And what moves will India need to take for those upgrades to come in for its economy?
So see, like I said, we feel that we have already given India a rating of BBB+. So definitely there is still scope for S&P to further upgrade the rating. And that I'm mainly basing it again on, these factors. One, India is a large economy, recording high growth. There's a lot that's happening on the infrastructure fund, and not just physical infrastructure. There's a lot that's happening on the digital infrastructure front also. The fiscal consolidation is happening. India is in a relatively good position as far as the external sector is concerned. And most importantly, the other pillar which we as a rating agency look at is what is happening to the institution and quality of governance in the economy. And there also there are a lot of positive developments happening, in the sense that the government is focused on improving the ease of doing business. There is political stability in the economy. The government has very rightly identified that regulations is, while it's required, for a huge economy like India, but probably there are many places where regulation is kind of becoming a constraint or bottleneck for growth. So now there's increased focus on easing the regulations to ensure that the economy continues to record good growth without compromising on the stability. So I think that's also going the right way. What more does the government need to do to further, spur the growth momentum and further improve the rating outlook? I would say the very important factor will be to ensure that there is enough job creations happening in the economy, because India is a completely, domestic demand driven economy. But for that demand, for that consumption boost to continue, what is important is that the household income should keep growing. Households should have, the consumers should have that confidence about, the future job prospects, their future income. If that is ensured, if the government is able to create enough jobs, are able to employ its huge workforce productively, that will really help in pushing up the growth momentum and ensuring that the growth momentum is sustained over a longer period of time.
Right, Rajni. All right. And on that note, I think a good note to, in fact, end this conversation on. And thank you very much, in fact, for taking the time out and joining us this evening on India Tonight. But for the moment, we leave it at that.